getting rich is super easy. When the mind awakens to the truth that abundance is a divine birthright. Many wander through life believing wealth is reserved for the fortunate few, but the universe is abundant, generous, and always responding. The invisible supply surrounds us like the air we breathe. It waits only for our recognition. Prosperity begins not in the bank account, but in the realm of thought. Every successful venture, every golden opportunity, every financial blessing was first an idea in someone's consciousness, nourished by belief and expectation. The first step is to align with the law of prosperity, the great spiritual principle that whatever we claim with faith becomes our reality. Wealth does not come through struggle or strain, but through certainty. To declare, "Money flows to me easily and continually," is to plant a seed in the fertile soil of the subconscious. That seed grows roots in unseen places and sprouts in miraculous ways. We become magnetic to success, to good fortune, to the right people in the right circumstances. The law is simple: we receive what we prepare for. Many believe getting rich requires enormous effort or sacrifice, but what if ease is the true secret? What if wealth is drawn to joy, clarity, and confidence? When we enjoy our path, the path unfolds effortlessly. When we love what we do, prosperity follows with enthusiasm. The universe adores a cheerful giver and a grateful receiver. Gratitude is a golden key that unlocks new streams of income, for when we appreciate what we have, we multiply our blessing. Every thought is a silent request to the universe. Worry calls for more to worry about. Fear calls for more reasons to fear. But faith calls forth miracles. The mind that knows its own power cannot be kept small. Every time we affirm, "Riches pursue me," we remind the universe of the truth: we are meant to flourish. To see oneself as prosperous is to step into alignment with destiny. There is no competition when each person has their own divine supply. What is meant for us cannot be withheld. Wealth is simply the outer reflection of inner certainty. When we release limiting beliefs, those old doubts that whisper we are unworthy or incapable, then the stream of abundance gushes freely. Opportunities appear where doors once seemed shut. Ideas come like flashes of light. The right introductions occur at the perfect time. Life begins to feel enchanted, guided by a higher intelligence that knows our path far better than we do. Getting rich is super easy when we choose to believe it is easy. The universe responds to the expectation of good. The moment we speak prosperity with conviction, the invisible becomes visible, and the dream becomes fact. Every day reveals new abundance, unfolding in delightful ways, proving that wealth is natural, joyful, expansive, and increasing for those who dare to expect more. Abundance is a divine birthright, a truth older than time, woven into the very essence of human existence. Before any structure of society placed limits, before doubt whispered its first word, every soul was formed from infinite supply. The universe did not create anyone to lack. It did not decide that some would be surrounded by wealth while others remained in perpetual scarcity. Those are human illusions, temporary clouds that pass across the clear sky of spiritual truth. At the core of every person is an eternal connection to the source of all good. Just as the ocean waves are never separate from the sea, we are never separate from abundance. To understand this fully is to dissolve the belief that wealth must be earned through struggle, or that one must prove worthiness before receiving. Divine supply flows by right, not reward. The same force that causes trees to bud without effort, the same wisdom that guides birds in their flight, guides the prosperity of the human soul. Wealth is a natural state, not a privilege. The idea that lack is normal is the great error of humanity, a false teaching passed from one generation to the next until people forgot who they truly are. Abundance is not merely money, it is the fullness of life, opportunities, joy, meaningful relationships, radiant health, creative expression, and the financial freedom to live without fear. Prosperity wears many forms, but its source is always spiritual. When one aligns with the truth, "I am deeply provided for," life responds with open hands. Provision comes from unexpected places. Solutions arise before the problem grows, and doors swing open at the exact moment they are needed. The feeling of lack is often traced to an inner belief that something is missing within. People look outward and think they must chase, compete, or force outcomes to gain what they desire. Yet the law of abundance teaches the opposite. Everything you seek is already yours in potential. The moment you desire something, the supply is created. Desire is not a sign of deficiency. It is the universe showing you what is possible for you. Your desire is the proof of your possession waiting to manifest. Children understand this truth better than adults. They trust naturally. They expect what they ask for. They do not agonize over whether they deserve it or if the world is capable of providing it. Their innocence grants them access to abundance. But as time passes, many absorb fear-based ideas. Money is scarce, success is for other people, life is hard. These beliefs become barriers to receiving. The divine birthright does not disappear, but it becomes hidden beneath layers of doubt. To reclaim abundance, one must remember identity. You are not merely a body moving through a material world. You are a spiritual being, connected to unlimited supply. You are backed by the intelligence that arranges galaxies, turns seasons, and sustains every heartbeat. When you recognize this, a confidence awakens. You begin to walk differently, think differently, and speak differently. Words shift from complaint to declaration. Instead of saying, "I can't afford that," you say, "The money is on its way." Instead of clinging to fear, you release it and make room for good. The universe is always listening. It responds not to wishes but to expectations. When someone expects abundance because they know it is their divine birthright, life must rise to meet that expectation. The law is unchanging. Whatever is claimed in faith becomes reality. When you speak in alignment with truth, mountains move. Invisible channels form. The right people appear. Money flows with ease, following the path of least resistance. Many attempt to pursue abundance through force, working against their own joy, exhausting themselves, believing only struggle produces success. But divine supply is not accessed through strain. It is accessed through alignment. When you live in harmony with your purpose, wealth follows naturally. Creativity becomes a magnet. Passion becomes a guide. The universe supports those who walk their true path, because the fulfillment of your purpose contributes to the expansion of good in the world. Abundance is also a state of allowing. One cannot receive blessings with clenched fists. Fear tightens, faith opens. Consider how nature behaves. Flowers bloom without anxiety. Rivers flow without hesitation. The sun rises without doubt. All of nature operates in perfect trust that supply is continuous. Humans alone break the flow with worry. When you surrender fear and choose to believe that you are always provided for, you return to the natural rhythm of abundance. Gratitude amplifies this truth. When you appreciate what you have, you are declaring that you already exist in a world of plenty. Gratitude multiplies blessings by calling more of what you are grateful for into your experience. A grateful heart is a vessel that cannot remain empty. Every affirmation of thanks is a signal that you are ready to receive more. Comparison and envy block abundance. When you look at someone else's success and feel lack, you affirm lack for yourself. But when you celebrate another's prosperity, you align with the frequency of abundance. What you praise, you raise. What you honor in others awakens in you. Because abundance is a birthright, every person has access to it, regardless of background, circumstances, or past mistakes. Life does not hold grudges. The universe does not say, "You must pay for your errors before you may prosper." The moment you shift your belief, the moment you claim you're good, the flow begins again. Spiritual supply is not rationed, it is infinite, renewing, expanding. There is more than enough for everyone. Scarcity is a myth conceived in fear. Your role is not to question how prosperity will arrive, but to remain open to its arrival. The paths are many, opportunities you have not yet imagined. ideas that spark wealth creation, partnerships that form in divine timing. The supply is always present. The only requirement is receptivity. When you say yes to abundance, life says yes to you. Wealth begins in the mind, in the quiet yet powerful realm where thoughts sculpt destiny and belief shapes experience. Every fortune ever built, every business ever launched, every creative masterpiece, every invention that transformed the world, each one started as an idea held firmly and faithfully by someone who dared to believe in possibility. The mind is the workshop of reality, the architect of prosperity, and the gateway to all abundance that seeks expression in the physical world. What we hold inwardly manifests outwardly, for the universe takes its cues from our dominant thoughts and expectations. When we think rich thoughts, speak rich words, and feel rich emotions, we create the mental equivalent of wealth, and the world rushes to match it. It is not circumstance that determines a person's prosperity, but the consciousness with which they approach life. Two individuals may stand before the same opportunity. One sees limitation and turns away, the other sees potential and steps forward. What separates them is not luck or chance, but mindset. The one who believes in wealth attracts it naturally, while the one who doubts pushes it away without realizing it. What we believe to be true for us becomes the invisible law governing what we allow ourselves to experience. The mind is a magnet, drawing toward it whatever aligns with its frequency. When someone repeatedly affirms scarcity, by worrying about bills, speaking of financial struggle, or expecting disappointment, they send out a signal that calls more lack into their life. The universe responds without judgment, delivering exactly what is expected. But when a person decides to think richly, even before the evidence appears, they begin to reverse the flow. Their thoughts become seeds of prosperity, planting a garden of success that blooms in perfect timing. Wealth then appears through ideas that inspire action, through people who offer support, and through opportunities that seem to arrive by miracle. Prosperity consciousness is not wishful thinking. It is disciplined alignment with truth. It is training the mind to focus on possibility instead of limitation, on expansion instead of contraction. It requires guarding against negative suggestions, whether from society, family, or one's own conditioned fears, and replacing them with affirmations of abundance. When we say money comes to me easily, we give the subconscious a clear instruction. When we imagine ourselves living with joy, freedom, and overflow, we activate spiritual laws that bring those visions into form. The subconscious mind accepts whatever it is given, so it is our sacred responsibility to give it only what supports our highest good. Many struggle financially not because they are incapable of earning, but because they carry mental blocks formed long ago. Thoughts such as money is hard to get, wealth is for others, or I'm not good enough to succeed, create barriers that prosperity cannot pass through. These false beliefs must be uprooted. One must replace them with empowered truths like, I am worthy of abundance. The universe supports me financially, and opportunities chase me down. As the inner script changes, the outer world rearranges to reflect the new pattern. There is a divine intelligence within that constantly whispers guidance toward prosperity. Ideas that arrive in moments of inspiration are not accidents. They are spiritual messages pointing to the next step in our financial expansion. The challenge is not the absence of guidance, but the doubt that causes people to ignore these intuitive nudges. Trusting the inner voice opens channels of wealth that logic alone could never uncover. The mind connected to intuition becomes a powerful force, for it knows the unseen path and walks in confidence while others hesitate in fear. Imagination is one of the greatest tools of wealth creation. To picture oneself surrounded by abundance is to begin the process of attracting it. Visualization imprints the subconscious with an image of success so strong that reality must eventually form around it. When someone visualizes prosperity with emotion, really feeling the joy, pride, and freedom that wealth brings, they activate spiritual law with tremendous power. They begin to live mentally in the world they wish to experience physically, and in due time, that mental world becomes their actual life. The mind must also believe that wealth can come through ease. So many cling to the belief that earning money requires struggle and hardship, and thus they block any path that feels effortless. But ease is a sign that one is aligned with purpose. Where there is joy, there is flow. Where there is enthusiasm, there is magnetism. Wealth is drawn to those who operate from inspiration rather than obligation. When work becomes a channel for creative expression rather than a desperate attempt to survive, prosperity multiplies naturally. The company we keep mentally matters just as much as the company we keep physically. Thoughts of envy, bitterness, or resentment toward those who prosper create a mindset of separation from wealth. If someone sees success in others and feels inferior or angry, they affirm that what others have is not available to them. But when they celebrate the prosperity of others, they join the energy of abundance instead of pushing it away. Appreciation opens doors that envy slams shut. Words carry mental force. What we repeatedly speak becomes the script the universe follows. Complaining about money invites more reasons to complain. Speaking of wealth, even before possessing it, invites more wealth to show up. Prosperity loves a confident declaration. Statements like, "I am a magnet for financial blessings," "Money loves me," or "Every day my income grows," deepen the mental imprint of abundance. The simplest shift one can make is choosing to view money as friendly, generous, and ever-flowing, rather than scarce, stressful, and limited. Money is energy, responding to belief. When treated with gratitude and respect, it multiplies. When viewed with fear and desperation, it slips away. Wealth begins to flourish the moment we see money as a helpful ally instead of a burden or a threat. It is not necessary to know how wealth will arrive. The mental equivalent is the only requirement. Once the mind accepts prosperity as the norm, life rearranges itself to deliver matching conditions. There are countless ways the universe can provide: unexpected income, new job offers, expanding business, solutions that save money, partnerships that elevate success, and divine ideas that turn into streams of abundance. The possibilities are infinite. Wealth begins in the mind because the mind holds the key to every locked door. The moment someone decides that prosperity is their natural state, they ignite a transformation that changes everything. Their energy shifts, their choices improve, their confidence expands, and success becomes the only outcome the universe can allow in response to such unwavering belief. Gratitude multiplies prosperity because it signals to the universe that we are already aligned with abundance. When someone expresses gratitude, they acknowledge that good exists in their life, and this recognition creates a powerful spiritual momentum. The law of increase responds to appreciation. Whatever we praise and appreciate expands. When we give thanks for money, opportunities, resources, and support, we are affirming that we live in a generous universe where supply continually flows. Gratitude is not merely polite behavior. It is a magnetic force that attracts more of what is good, desirable, and enriching. Many wait until their circumstances improve before they feel grateful, but that approach reverses the law. Gratitude must come first. One must give thanks in advance before the evidence appears. By appreciating even the smallest blessing, a person opens the door for greater blessings to enter. When someone says, "I am grateful for this new opportunity," even when they are not yet sure how it will unfold, they demonstrate trust. Trust invites increase. Doubt invites delay. Gratitude shifts the focus from lack to abundance. The mind cannot hold two opposing thoughts at the same time. Either we focus on what is missing, or we focus on what is present and growing. Lack thinking shrinks opportunities, while gratitude thinking expands them. A person who constantly complains about bills, responsibilities, and financial burdens cannot receive prosperity freely, because their attention is fixed on hardship. But the one who says, "Thank you, universe, that I have the means to meet these needs," turns every expense into a declaration of wealth. They see money flowing through their life, not away from it, and this perspective creates more flow. When we are grateful, we become better stewards of what we have. Gratitude radiates care and respect, and what we care for increases in value. A person who appreciates each dollar will attract more dollars. A person who curses their finances pushes them further out of reach. Gratitude transforms the relationship with money from fear-based to love-based. Money responds to being treated well. It feels safe with those who honor it, and so it stays longer and returns more often. Gratitude heightens awareness of opportunity. When the heart is thankful, the eyes see things they previously overlooked. Hidden paths reveal themselves, new ideas spark, helpful people appear. Prosperity does not always come wrapped in a golden package. Sometimes it arrives as a chance encounter, a simple suggestion, or a shift in perspective. Only a grateful mind can recognize these gifts. Complaining blinds, while appreciation illuminates. Many believe gratitude is a reaction to blessings, but spiritually it is a cause. It activates the invisible supply waiting to pour in. When someone consistently expresses gratitude, they create a vibration that wealth cannot resist. They become a magnet for success. This law operates even when the gratitude seems unreasonable to the logical mind. Being thankful for what has not yet manifested is a supreme act of faith, and faith is the bridge through which prosperity travels. Gratitude softens the heart, making it receptive to receive. When a person feels frustrated, angry, or fearful about their financial situation, they unconsciously tighten against abundance. Nothing can enter a closed space. Gratitude relaxes the spirit. It opens the gates. It tells the universe, I am ready for more. And the universe, always eager to give, responds accordingly. Even challenges become sources of increase when met with gratitude. Instead of viewing difficulties as threats, gratitude transforms them into teachers. Every setback carries a seed of advancement, and a grateful person finds that seed. They understand that growth often hides inside discomfort. When they give thanks for the lesson rather than resisting the experience, they discover new strengths, new strategies, and new paths to prosperity. Gratitude turns burdens into blessings. There is also a great healing power in thankfulness. Stress about money contracts life. Gratitude expands it. When gratitude is practiced daily, fear about the future dissolves. The anxious mind quiets. The heart becomes lighter. Prosperity flows more easily to those who are free of mental resistance. A peaceful spirit is a fertile ground for wealth to grow. Gratitude is a conversation with the universe, a way of saying, I see what you have done for me and I trust what you are doing now. It affirms that we are supported and that life is working even when the full plan is not yet visible. This trust accelerates manifestation. When we doubt, we delay. When we appreciate, we receive faster than expected. The habit of gratitude can be cultivated deliberately. Each day, one may list every good thing they notice. Income received, kindness shown, progress made, ideas that spark joy. This consistent attention to good creates momentum. What begins as a simple acknowledgement becomes a powerful force that transforms mindset and reality. The more things one finds to be grateful for, the more things appear that deserve gratitude. Gratitude must include ourselves as well. Recognizing one's own abilities, creativity, resilience, and potential strengthens the inner foundation for wealth. When someone says, I am grateful for my talents and skills, they activate opportunities to use them in prosperous ways. Self-appreciation awakens self-worth, and prosperity cannot stay away from one who knows they are worthy. Celebrating the success of others is also an expression of gratitude. Envy says, there is not enough. Gratitude says, thank you for showing me what is possible. When we cheer for another's prosperity, we align with abundance instead of separation. Their success is evidence that wealth is present and active in the world, flowing and available. Gratitude turns another's blessing into a sign of our own incoming blessing. Gratitude works harmoniously with imagination. affirmations, and inspired action. When combined, these create a vortex of attraction. A person imagines the wealth they desire, affirms that it is already theirs, and thanks the universe for delivering it. This sequence is a spiritual command. It tells the unseen forces of prosperity exactly what to do. Gratitude seals the instruction with faith. The simplest truth is this: wealth increases wherever gratitude is present. When we give thanks for the money we have, the universe gives us more money to be thankful for. When we give thanks for opportunities, more opportunities appear. When we give thanks for guidance, clarity multiplies. Gratitude is the key that turns the door handle to abundance, allowing prosperity to enter and grow without limit. Faith attracts opportunities, because faith is the unwavering conviction that good is on its way, even when physical evidence has not yet appeared. Faith is a spiritual magnet, an invisible power that reaches into the realm of possibility and draws forth the perfect situations, people, and ideas that move us toward prosperity. When someone believes with certainty that success belongs to them, the entire universe begins rearranging to confirm that belief. Doors open effortlessly, conversations lead to breakthroughs, resources emerge at the precise moment they are needed. Faith is the signal that tells the universe we are ready to receive. Faith is more than hope. Hope desires, faith knows, hope wishes, faith expects. And what we expect with confidence becomes the blueprint that reality follows. Every invention that reshaped the world, every empire that rose from humble beginnings, every dream that blossomed into fortune, all were fueled by faith. Individuals believed in what others could not see. They trusted their inner vision more than external doubt. That trust summoned opportunities that would have remained invisible without the power of belief. Faith transforms the invisible into the visible. It takes spiritual substance, the unseen supply, and calls it forth into form. When someone walks by faith, they step forward even when the path is not fully illuminated, because they know light appears as each step is taken. Opportunities rarely show up for those who wait for certainty. They reveal themselves to those who move with belief. Movement is a declaration of confidence, and confidence activates the law of attraction. Fear and faith cannot occupy the same space. Where fear rules, opportunities retreat. Fear focuses on what could go wrong and thus attracts more obstacles. Fear says, "I must protect what little I have," and opportunities pass by unnoticed. Faith says, "I am supported by divine supply," and opportunities rush forward. The universe mirrors the dominant energy a person carries. When one radiates confidence, the world responds with invitations to expand. When one radiates doubt, life responds with reasons to doubt even more. Faith sees abundance where others see scarcity. It recognizes potential where others see dead ends. It believes in growth, renewal, and infinite supply. A person grounded in faith can look at an empty bank account and still declare, "Money is flowing to me now," because they understand that divine provision originates from the unseen. Physical conditions are temporary shadows cast by past thoughts. Faith introduces a new reality, and the shadows shift to match the light of belief. Opportunities often disguise themselves, arriving in a form that requires trust to accept. Faith gives clarity to recognize the blessing inside the ordinary. A small idea can become a fortune when believed in. A simple connection can become a life-changing partnership when nurtured with confidence. Faith lifts the mind above limitation, revealing paths that logic alone cannot uncover. The person who believes in possibilities sees more possibilities. Expectation sharpens perception. Faith strengthens intuition. That quiet inner voice becomes louder, clearer, and more trustworthy. Intuition is the compass of prosperity, gently guiding toward the right choices at the right time. People who trust their intuition often find themselves in perfect alignment with success, meeting exactly who they need to meet, arriving exactly where they need to be. Faith keeps them receptive, understanding that guidance may come in whispers rather than shouts. Opportunities love intuition, because intuition recognizes them instantly. Faith builds resilience. Challenges no longer signify failure, they become stepping stones. A person with faith does not retreat when conditions look tough. They persist, knowing that their breakthrough lies just beyond the appearance of difficulty. This persistence invites more opportunities because the universe supports those who refuse to give up on their divine destiny. Every obstacle becomes a test of belief, and every test passed unlocks greater supply. Faith dissolves envy and comparison, replacing them with certainty that abundance is personal and plentiful. When someone sees another prospering, faith says, "Mine is on the way." Faith allows one to celebrate others' success because it is evidence that prosperity is active and available. Comparison comes from fear of not having enough. Faith recognizes that everyone has their unique channel of supply and that opportunity is limitless. Words spoken in faith have power. Declarations such as "Everything is working for me," "I attract the right opportunities easily," and "My success is inevitable," imprint the subconscious with a prosperity code. That inner belief then broadcasts outward, sending a signal that calls forth matching conditions. People are drawn to those who believe in themselves. Support gathers around those who declare their intentions with confidence. The world tends to trust those who trust themselves. Faith thrives in imagination. When someone visualizes their success with vivid detail, they create a mental reality far more influential than present circumstances. The subconscious mind accepts these mental experiences as truth and begins orchestrating opportunities to bring them into form. Imagination backed by faith becomes a creative force. Ideas become blueprints, and blueprints become outcomes. Faith says, "If I can see it within, it already exists." Faith also loves action. It does not sit idle, waiting. It steps forward boldly, knowing that movement accelerates manifestation. A single step taken in faith can initiate a cascade of events that snowball into success. Opportunities respond to the energy of initiative. The universe rewards motion. Faith-filled action is the bridge between desire and achievement. Gratitude amplifies faith. Each time someone gives thanks for progress, even the smallest progress, they reinforce the belief that more is coming. Gratitude says, "I see the blessing," and faith says, "I know more is arriving." Together, they keep opportunities flowing continuously, like a river that never dries. Faith unlocks divine partnerships. The right people appear when one is aligned with their purpose. Mentors, collaborators, investors, and supporters feel drawn not to the potential itself, but to the certainty behind it. Faith speaks loudly without sound, an energy that communicates, "I am destined for success." Others feel reassured by that conviction and joyfully participate in the unfolding miracle. Ultimately, faith is the silent architect of every great accomplishment. It is the unseen force that brings opportunities into alignment with one's highest good. It keeps the mind focused on possibilities rather than problems. It opens channels that logic would deem impossible. It rewrites the rules, bends circumstances, and elevates what once seemed unreachable into the realm of everyday experience. Ease is the true path to riches because prosperity flows most freely where resistance is absent. Many have been taught that wealth must be earned through hardship, that success demands struggle, sacrifice, and relentless effort. This belief creates tension in the mind and body, blocking the natural flow of abundance. When wealth is associated with stress, worry, and exhaustion, the subconscious begins to view money as a threat to peace rather than a blessing. But ease, joy, enthusiasm, and alignment are the real indicators that one is moving in harmony with divine supply. When we feel good about what we are doing, when our actions uplift our spirit rather than drain it, we align with the great law of flow that continuously seeks to bring more good into our lives. Ease is not laziness. Ease is alignment. It is the clear knowing that the universe works with us when we work from joy. A river does not strain to reach the ocean. It simply follows the path it was meant to follow. Birds do not stress about flying. They rise on the wind effortlessly. Nature expresses abundance without urgency or fear. Wealth has the same nature. It moves smoothly toward those who trust that life supports them. When someone learns to release the belief that struggle is necessary, opportunities arrive more quickly, solutions appear with grace, and income increases without force. Inspired action is the key. Hard work driven by desperation creates resistance. But inspired action, work fueled by passion and purpose, creates prosperity. When a person is excited about what they are doing, when they feel aligned with their gifts and talents, the universe amplifies their efforts. The same amount of physical energy produces much greater returns because it is supported by spiritual power. Ease multiplies results, struggle shrinks them. Ease also means trusting timing. The universe has perfect timing, and faith in divine timing eliminates the panic that leads to rushed, misaligned decisions. When someone feels rushed, they operate from fear. Fear disrupts manifestation. But when they trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, they relax, and a relaxed mind can recognize the next right step. Ease sharpens intuition, making guidance clear and unmistakable. The right opportunities stand out. The right connections feel obvious. The right ideas spark excitement instead of anxiety. Those who live with ease understand that wealth can come through delight. They follow what feels light, energizing, creative. They know that joy is a compass pointing toward abundance. When someone chooses the path that excites their spirit, doors open, because joy is a high frequency that attracts success. Happiness is not a reward at the end of the journey. It is the fuel that powers the journey. Prosperity naturally gathers around joyful hearts. Ease brings clarity. When the mind is calm, it can see possibilities that stress obscures. A peaceful mind imagines new concepts, recognizes advantage, and notices abundance. Many miss financial opportunities not because they lack intelligence or skill, but because their minds are clouded with fear and pressure. Ease restores awareness of the infinite potential always available. A simple shift from stress to ease can reveal solutions that were sitting in plain sight all along. Ease invites cooperation rather than competition. People are drawn to those who radiate calm confidence. Business becomes smoother, partnerships become more fruitful, and success becomes a shared experience rather than a battle. Those who carry ease in their presence inspire trust, and trust opens financial doors. Clients, customers, and collaborators feel safe and uplifted in their energy. Prosperity loves environments where people feel good, valued, and supported. Ease also honors self-worth. When someone believes they must overwork to earn money, they are signaling that their value is low. But when they believe their talents and presence are enough, wealth responds accordingly. Self-worth and net worth are deeply connected. The more one honors their own magnificence, the more life reflects that magnificence in financial gain. Ease is a form of self-respect. It says, "I trust that who I am is enough to attract success." When a person allows ease, they also allow rest. Rest is not the absence of productivity. It is the renewal that makes productivity powerful. Rest and relaxation create mental spaciousness, and within that space, inspiration arrives. Many of the world's greatest breakthroughs appeared when minds were at ease, during a walk, a moment of play, or a peaceful pause. Wealth expands in environments of rejuvenation because creativity thrives there. Ease allows receptivity. Struggle often involves forcing, pushing, and trying to control outcomes. But money is received, not chased. Opportunities arrive when space is created for them. Ease opens the hands. It opens the heart. It creates a welcoming environment for blessings to land. When someone relaxes their grip on how things must happen, unexpected avenues for wealth appear. Prosperity comes through the easiest route available, once resistance is removed. Ease aligns with trust in unlimited supply. When someone believes there isn't enough to go around, they feel compelled to fight for their portion. But when they know abundance is infinite, they move gracefully. Knowing their supply cannot be taken by another, they become open to sharing, collaborating, and giving. And giving activates the law of return. Generosity feels easy when one trusts that more is always coming. Ease is amplified by gratitude. When a person appreciates what they already have, they step into the energy of having rather than striving. From the state of having, more flows. Gratitude says, I already live in abundance, and abundance expands wherever it is acknowledged. Ease and gratitude together create a magnetic field that wealth cannot resist. Ease also supports focus. Instead of scattering energy across too many draining tasks, the person aligned with ease concentrates on what brings the greatest return with the least friction. They choose the highest value actions. They simplify, delegate, and streamline. They remove clutter, mental and physical, that blocks the flow of new prosperity. Simplicity is a form of ease, and simplicity invites efficiency. Wealth inspired by ease also brings joy in spending. Money becomes a tool of expression rather than a source of fear. A person who earns money with ease spends money with joy, and joyful spending circulates wealth, inviting more to return. They understand that money is meant to move, and every transaction is an affirmation of abundance, a sign that they trust the flow to continue. Ease is a sacred agreement with the universe, an agreement that abundance does not require suffering, that prosperity is natural, and that joy is a guiding force. When someone chooses ease, they step into alignment with the universal truth that life was designed to support them. The path to riches becomes smooth and fulfilling, powered by clarity, intuition, and delight rather than exhaustion and fear.